Welcome to the initiation of the most valuable achievement in your life.
Oh, happiness.
No,
Health?
no,
Love?
no. A 30-year mortgage tied to a building that's plotting against you.
Oh. So, what do I get in return for sacrificing my sanity?
Well, let's see here. The right to call a plumber when your toilet explodes at 3 in the morning. Random increases to your homeowner's insurance. Oh, and of course, fixing a leaky roof. Yourself.
Is homeownership the American dream? Or is it just a really expensive cult membership? Today, we're diving into the chaotic world of home buying, why it's glorified to almost religious levels, and why personal finance guru Ramit Sethi thinks it's massively overrated. The societal pressure to own a home stems from several interconnected cultural, economic, and psychological factors. Homeownership is sold to us like the ultimate guide to success, the financial holy grail, and a sure ticket to adulthood. We're all told renting is basically just throwing your money away, and that the only thing standing in the way of true grown-up status is a house of your own. It's common to hear that buying a home is the best financial decision because it builds equity, even though this does not consider the significant cost of ongoing maintenance, property taxes, and the interest on loans, especially these days where the rates are at. And I better not see any of you boomers commenting,
"When I bought my house, the rates were at 13%.
Well, actually, sweetie, when we bought our house, we had to walk uphill both ways to the bank to lock in our 13% rate.
Okay, Barbara, that must have been really hard, with the $50,000 house, $3 dinners, and 50 cents a gallon for gas. Really tough times, huh?
It was tough. We didn't have any of your avocado toast, or whatever it is you hipsters eat these days.
Well, Barbara, we don't even have avocado toast anymore. That's just like $15 now. Oh, and the median house price now is $400,000. So please do tell me again about all of your struggles.
I had to crochet my own curtains.
Oh, you actually had the time to crochet your own curtains? Anyways, back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. Psychologically, homeownership gives you that cozy feel of permanence, like you're finally settling down, but renting makes you unstable? Yeah, okay. If by unstable you mean not being chained to a house that may or may not be falling apart. Renting often gives more flexibility and less financial heartache. And then there's Uncle Sam with his tax breaks and subsidized loans. Which really makes homeownership seem like the only option, doesn't it? Maybe we should all stop pretending like we understand the math behind it and start asking questions. Historically, sure, homeownership has been linked to wealth building. But let's be honest, your house might appreciate and value, or it might just be a glorified money pit. This is why I really love Ramit's view on homeownership. But we'll get to that later. You think you're buying freedom, but as soon as you move in, surprise! You actually signed up for a never-ending game of what's broken today?
Gotcha.
Let me break it down for you. Repairs and maintenance. Owning a home is like having a high-maintenance partner. One minute, you're basking in the glow of your new space. The next, you're replacing the furnace or patching the roof leak. A $300,000 home could cost you $3,000 a year just to keep it from imploding. Property taxes. Nothing says financial freedom like paying thousands a year to your local government for the privilege of living in your own house. And in some places, like New Jersey, these taxes can hit 5 figures. HOA fees. If property taxes weren't enough, welcome to the Homeowners Association, where the rules are arbitrary, the fees are high, and someone's always mad about your choice of shrubbery. True story. My friend got a letter saying he'd be fined $100 a day until he planted more bushes. The illusion of freedom. Sure, you can knock down the walls and paint your kitchen neon pink, but at the end of the day, you're still shackled to constant upkeep, nightmare neighbors, and HOA drama. Living next to other humans is always a gamble. Ask my boyfriend's parents, who've been at war with their neighbors for over 3 years over shrubbery. Sometimes you realize the dream neighborhood is really just a mirage. Renovation spirals. Thinking about a little home improvement? Better think twice. That simple kitchen facelift can easily turn into a $46,000 money pit. The only thing running faster than your renovation cost is your regret. The idea of owning a home as a path to freedom is frequently contradicted by the costs, frustrations, and time commitments. Instead of growing wealth, many people find themselves locked into a constant cycle of spending on upkeep, taxes, and repairs with little payoff. The romance of homeownership can quickly fade once the cracks in the walls, both literally and figuratively, begin to show. Now, if you're starting to feel like this sounds less like a dream and more like a very expensive headache, well, you're not alone. In fact, even financial experts have been sounding the alarm of this long-held belief that homeownership is the ultimate financial goal. Take Ramit Sethi, for example, who has a refreshingly candid take on why homeownership is not all it's cracked up to be.
So when it comes to owning versus renting, we often have these very simple black or white thoughts. We think if rent costs $3,000 a month and a mortgage costs $3,000 a month, well, I should get the mortgage because I'm building equity. Well, you got to understand that when you own a house, you should add, in my opinion, roughly 50% on top to account for all the phantom costs. Those phantom costs include interest, they include taxes, maintenance, which is huge. Yes, even the roof repair that's going to cost $20,000 9 years from now, you still need to account for that today. And opportunity costs, meaning the money you put down could be invested elsewhere like the S&P 500. When you run those numbers, often you are surprised. So in cities that are very high cost of living, like San Francisco, LA, New York, it often makes no financial sense to buy. And this is mind-blowing to people because they go, well, why would all these people buy? Are you telling me that landlords actually lose money every month? I go, yeah, some of them do. Some landlords lose money, some make money, some don't even know how much their costs actually are. As a renter, your rent is the maximum you will pay every month. As a homeowner, your mortgage is the minimum you will pay. So I'm not saying it's good or bad to own or rent. I'm saying you have to run the numbers and you have to understand things like an amortization schedule, which would explain why you should typically only plan to buy if you are going to stay there for at least 10 years.
Wow, another lie we were sold. Who would have thought? Homeownership isn't a golden ticket. It's more like golden handcuffs, shiny on the outside, but trapping you in a never-ending cycle of home repairs, taxes, and unexpected costs. Guess we're all just playing Monopoly with real money. So, is homeownership a cult? Well, although the down payment could definitely pass as initiation fees, yard work and HOA meetings can feel like weird rituals, and property taxes, along with endless maintenance, scream never-ending indebtedness. If you approach it smartly and with the right knowledge, nah, it's not a cult. Just a really intense club with questionable benefits. So, after all of that, who exactly is homeownership for? Well, that depends on your goals, your lifestyle, and how much you love the idea of endless repairs. If you're all about long-term stability and don't mind having your entire bank account tied up in a mortgage, then sure, go for it. But if you like the freedom to move around, avoid fixing leaky roofs, and actually have a social life that does not revolve around Home Depot, then renting might be more your speed. Now, if you dream of putting down roots in a house that you can paint any color your little heart desires and never get told to leave, then homeownership just might be your thing. It's a great way to feel all adultish with your fixed payments, assuming your mortgage does not come along with a sneaky adjustable rate, and the chance that your home might increase in value over time. As financial expert Ramit Sethi says, homeownership should be a decision made for the right reasons, not just because it's a societal next step. Homeownership is not inherently bad, but it's definitely not for everybody, and that's perfectly okay. And remember, the cult might call it equity, but you just might call it a nightmare with a mortgage.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, and click here for the next perfectly curated video that I personally have selected just for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.